a lot of my students and the rest of San Diego was celebrating Dia de los Muertos, since it's Dia de los Muertos in Mexico. And one of my students said that his mom just came back from Mexico City and it was just going off the easy. And I went to my Dia de los Muertos party on November 1st because a lot of it is celebrated November 1st and 2nd. Keith, what's up? And in Old Town San Diego, we have uh, it's like a whole Dia de los Muertos thing going on from like last night, which it was just packed on the freeway like at 7 p.m. Like both sides of the 5 freeway were just like backed up trying to get into Old Town, and Old Town's like not that big. Oh, hold on. I'm looking kind of ghosty again, so I'm gonna move the camera so I don't look so ghosty. um, Hey, there we go. New Age, what up, girl? Happy Saturday. Happy Dia de los Muertos. um, so yeah, oh, well, you can see my laundry up there. Hold on. I'm gonna fold my laundry when I get off my live chat today, but you don't need to see it hanging behind me. We see, we got the Lokester. He's actually on my Dia de los Muertos, like, reading cloth right now, and Wally is glamping in the room, so I thought I'd give him a break from the panther. But yeah, in Old Town, they started at noon yesterday. It was like noon to 9, just like a whole Dia de los Muertos thing, like parades and live shows and like just all kinds of celebration stuff. You know, they got like the huge people dressed up like the big you know, like the big skeletons. So you have like the big man skeleton, the big girl skeletons, like the huge heads, and they're like walking around the streets. And then they have like, and then they're gonna have a celebration today and a celebration on Sunday. So yeah, so I mean, you know, San Diego, we're like right on the border of Mexico. So we're, yeah, we go off when it like comes to Dia de los Muertos. So yeah, the whole town is just like going off right now, which is pretty cool. So I definitely, when more people pop in, I want to share my story at my friend's house on November, because my friend always invites his friend who is a psychic medium, and she comes and gives us messages for our loved ones. So she gave me a message about my grandpa who's from Cebu, Philippines. So that was pretty cool. I want to do a meditation with you guys out of the Natural Magic Modern Witchcraft series book, because I haven't read through all of it, but I was drawn to one of the meditations in here, and I thought it would be like good for you guys. I thought you might really like it. And since it's November, let me try not to spill this because it's still undrinkable right now. It's still super, super hot, like boiling water. But I have Talk Turkey to Me. I finally get to bust out my turkey mug because it's November. I've been waiting and waiting because it's one of my biggest mugs, and I'm like, and I don't feel right like drinking my turkey mug when it's not turkey month. But yeah, so I have Talk Turkey to Me. So yeah, set that down. Ooh, still too hot, hot, hot. Okay, so how's everybody's Saturday going? I had like a crazy week. I felt like I just like couldn't catch my breath this week just because there was like so much grading. My seniors have something called an exit task. So like they don't really have tests in my class. Like we do a lot of classwork, and then at the end of a unit they have to write like a big essay, and that's kind of like their test. So I was grading like all these big essays, and I was trying to get it done before the end of the grading period, which was yesterday. And then I had to put in all their grades and all their conduct grades, and my eyes were like bugging out of my skull. And yeah, I've just been like super busy. Like, you know, I'm still like trying to go to the gym, and you know, I still have to do my readings and things, you know, for my clients. And yeah, I just felt like I didn't even have like chance really to pull any cards for myself this week. You know, the actual like hangout time I got to have was like with, you know, Keith and Solaria Willow for our Halloween special that we had on the 31st on Wednesday. That was like, I finally like got to breathe for like that Google Hangout. It was like, ah. Oh, like I just get to have fun with like some friends and we get to have like a good time. But yeah, it's been a crazy week. And next week I guess it's just gonna be crazy until we get to Thanksgiving break, which is in like 2 weeks. So like next week we have like a changed schedule because juniors are testing and I have to help with testing. Plus my freshmen are starting a new unit and my seniors are going to start another exit task. And I'm like, oh my God. New Age said I watched that on the replay. It was 2 a.m. my time and I stayed up till 1 a.m. then croaked. The Woodland Hag. Oh my gosh. How are you? Yeah, so yeah, it's been crazy. It's going to continue to be crazy. Oh, and next week, I think I can still do my live chat on Saturday, but we'll see. If I can't do my live chat on Saturday, I'll make a video announcing, hey, don't like don't be like I think I'm ditching you, you know, if I'm not there on Saturday, just because next week is my 12-year anniversary with the dude. um the Woodland Hag said, I'm good, so great to catch you live. I'm so glad you're here. Yay. So how's you know, the baby belly coming? Oh, thank you, Woodland Hag. So yeah, we have our 12-year anniversary on the 8th, and we're gonna like have like we're just gonna have like maybe a nice dinner. Like my boyfriend will probably cook dinner because he cooks dinner every night, so he'll probably just like make a couple of steaks or something like that. I have a smallish gift for him. Thank you, New Age. And I have a card that goes with it. So I have like a theme, and I didn't really want to tell like what I got him. So like once our anniversary is passed, I'll show you guys. But like I just sometimes the dude watches my live chats, and you know, when he's working, and he's working right now. Keith said, OMG, so adorable. But so if he's like watching this while he's probably not watching while he's working, he's probably listening while he's working. Then yeah, I don't want to spoil the surprise. So yeah, so I have everything themed. So like his gift, his card, what we're doing on Sunday the 8, 9, 10, the 11th is like all themed. Oh, thank you, Bella. See, Keith says, oh, loving the blue nails. Thank you so much. And Woodland Hag, I have been just loving, you know, I go back and like I binge watch all your videos. I know I have like such a girl crush on you. I like watch all your videos. And I still have to catch up on some of your newer videos because yeah, like I've said, I've been like super busy, and it's like I have all these people that I want to watch because I have so many favorites and so many of you that I love here on YouTube. And it's like, and I like to just like lay in bed at night, like, you know, while like I'm just like after like I do my meditation, I'm just chilling, I'm just having some tea, and I like to just like watch all, you know, a video from each of my faves. So so yeah. Oh, sorry, my friend Steph, she was texting me because we have a goodie box that we're going to be sending to each other like mid-November, end of November. Gaelic Tales, hello. So so yeah. Let's see, what else? Well, let me see if my tea is drinkable so I could just take a sip, and then I want to give you guys a little bit of a story time from that Dia de los Muertos party, because that was awesome. It's apparently my friend's 5th annual one, so I think I've been to all of his. So okay, and it's good. Okay, okay. Bella Lacrone, hello. Okay, here we go. Gaelic Tales, I've watched you for a while, but this is my first time catching you live. Well, welcome! I am so happy to have you. New Age says, I've got Halloween, Halloween H2O, hell yeah, on the background, and Lori Jamie Lee just grabbed the axe. Jamie Lee Curtis just, I love her. She is like, my dad has the hots for her too. Like, I don't have the hots for Jamie Lee Curtis, but my dad has the hots for her. I think she's just like badass. I can't watch these on Halloween, too chicken. Yeah, you know, maybe on Halloween I stay away from like the scarier stuff. Actually, you know, I've become a big chicken probably. Like I can't watch super scary stuff anymore. Like I can watch kitschy scary. I'm getting wussier as I get older. Woodland said, so much fun. You guys have fun on your anniversary. You're so sweet. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, so like I said, can't say too much about the anniversary. You know, except that all of it is themed. So he will get a small gift on our anniversary, and then he will have a card that goes with the gift. And then Sunday, we're going to have an adventure. And that also goes with the theme. And then Saturday night, I have dinner planned. And I can't say where because it's one of his favorite places, but it's also a very expensive place. But fortunately, my credit card, I get like points back and things, and you can use your points for like gift cards or like airfare and stuff like that. And so since I try to use my credit cards as much as possible to like build my credit, and then I pay them all out. Like I feel very fortunate that I can always like pay my credit cards off, you know, every month, like in full. Because I do so, I have a lot of points. And so with my points, I got okay, I was like, okay, what can I say? Because I'm trying like to keep it like incognito. Okay, so I got a decent amount of cash, we'll say that, on a gift card for the place that we want to go. So technically we're going to eat there free. Otherwise it would be hella expensive and I wouldn't be able to afford it. But it's like kind of like, hey, like freebie back from my credit card. So therefore we're gonna eat at a really expensive place here in San Diego that's actually really good. You know, sometimes some places are just expensive to be expensive, but this is expensive and delicious. So I will make sure I take pictures. I think they allow pictures in there. Yeah, I will take pictures. Okay, so let me see what you guys was saying. New Age said, yep, she kicks his ass. And I can watch Freddy and stuff on Halloween, but not this because it's not a real monster. It could totally happen. Yes, it could. Woodland Hag said, yay for adventures. Alrighty. Okay, so let's do some story time. I know you guys like it when I do some story time. Okay, so every year my friend and his husband, they always have like, well, it's apparently the 5th annual one now. They have a Dia de los Muertos party. And they always invite their friend Mary Street, who I believe she has a YouTube channel. She just hasn't posted in a while, but she's a very gifted tarot reader, psychic medium. She does all sorts of stuff. So I don't know if you guys want to check her out. It's marystreet.com. I believe it's .com, yeah. Or just type in Mary Street psychic medium and she'll pop up. But she's part Filipino, just like me, just like everybody that was there. Well, most everybody was there is either Filipino, part Filipino. We had some great Filipino food and some other goodies to eat. We had the sugar candles out. We had lots of little candles. I lit a candle, you know, for everybody who's passed, so it looked like a forest fire. There was a lot of candles. for everyone, you know, everybody was lighting their candles, and we brought pictures, and my pictures are back up on my altar, but I'll show you guys those in a second. So unfortunately we missed like the first like hour and a half of the party because Brian was working, you know, he works a lot. And so I was waiting for him, and then we got down there, and as soon as we got down there, people were just finishing up dinner, but there was still a lot of food because I don't know if you guys have like any Filipino friends, but Filipinos will overcook. If there's gonna be 20 people, we'll cook for 100, you know? So so yeah, there was tons of food. So Brian and I were like trying to shovel like as much food in our mouths as possible, and then our buddy was like, okay, you know, everybody come out to the long tables, because we had these long tables, and we got to put pictures of all our loved ones. And then there was a place where we were putting like all the candles. Well, actually the candles were all over the place, you know. And of course I lit a candle for our recently departed Tiptoe chick, you know, said a little something for her. And yeah, and it's basically we just kind of share stories while we're standing around eating. But once we all come out to the tables and we all sit around, that's when Mary Street comes out, and she kind of tells us like, hey, Secret Path, how are you? So she tells us like what is a medium, what is a psychic medium, like what does she do. She talks about how she works with spirit. Woodland Hag said way too much food. Hey, there's no such thing as way too much food. It just means lots of leftovers. And leftovers are delicious. So yeah, so then she was talking about she hears spirit very clearly. I guess you would call it your psychic ear. She talks about seeing spirit with her third eye, that she either sees them in the way that they project themselves, like some of them want to be much younger even though maybe they died at like 90 years old, but they, you know, want to show themselves at like 40 or 30 or something like that. She talks about sometimes she's retro clairvoyant or retrocognizant, something like that. And I haven't actually heard of that before. Bella said, stop with the food. It's my birthday and the rain is off the hook, so I can't get to town to buy food yet. Well, I say, first of all, Bella, happy birthday, and go dance in the rain or just go sit out in the rain, because I love to get rained on. Like, I don't know, I'm a weirdo. And then when the rain lets up, you have yourself a feast. and save some for me. So yeah, so then I haven't heard of this like retro clairvoyant or retrocognizant where she said she can go back in time and she could see certain events that happened in your life, like your life or the life of a loved one who's crossed over. And I hadn't heard of that before, but like that's something that I can do. So I didn't know there was a name for that. I thought that's like, you know, when you're clairvoyant or you're claircognizant and you just like know certain things or you can see certain things. I thought you could just go back. I thought that's so. I didn't know there was a name for it. I love the rain. Just can't take the sports car out. Yeah, maybe no sports cars in the rain. Max, hey. So we're just doing a bit of story time. Let's see. She was also talking about she does allow herself with certain spirits, usually spirits of people that she's known who's crossed over, like friends and things like that, where she allows herself to be a vessel, where she allows her, she goes, if you've ever seen the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg and how, you know, a ghost can, you know, jump in her, she says, it's kind of like that with me. So she says she just like puts up some boundaries and, you know, sometimes uses her throat chakra, her voice box, in order for spirit to speak, and she will take on their inflections and their cadence. She also said something that she's been doing as of recent is to give hugs from spirit. So she said she allows spirit to then take over her body for a hug if it feels like that person needs healing in that way. She said, like, if you go back and you remember like people's hugs, like, you know, somebody's passed away, like my grandma and grandpa have passed away. Well, actually both grandmas and both grandpas have passed, but I know what their hugs feel like. And so she said, if you remember what it feels like, she goes, when I hug you, she says, you remember that hug, you know. So so she did that a couple of times, which was pretty cool. So basically what she does is she has her tea. She keeps, you know, sipping her tea, to keep herself grounded. She says when she feels like there's too much energy, she bites her lip, kind of like Teresa Caputo from the Long Island Medium. She says sometimes you'll see her bite her lip, and that's just usually when she's feeling a lot of energy, and that's kind of how they bring the energy down a bit. She also bites her lip. So I didn't know that. So she kind of goes around the table to where she's called to by spirit, and she'll just kind of be like, and she says, and she'll just like go up to somebody and she says, are you here for a male figure? And then the person will be like, yeah. And she goes, is this your picture? Yeah, this is my picture. You know, this is a picture of my grandfather. And then she'll start talking about the person, and then she'll give certain facts about the person or certain things that they would know, so that you know that it was actually their loved one that she was speaking to. So yeah, so she went around the room, and I thought she missed like the dude, you know. And so Sherry Bug, hey, she said she's just popping in to say hi. I have a EMT class all day today, just having a break, and have a good weekend. Well, you have a wonderful weekend, and you go kick his ass in your EMT class. You have fun. Okay, so so yeah, she was talking to somebody else, and then she was like, okay, I'm gonna have some tea, you know. And I'm like thinking, oh man, like I don't want her to like miss Brian here, you know, because she was trying to make sure she got to everybody, and she was like, is that everyone? She goes, oh no, I think I need to get to you. And she pointed to the woman next to Brian, because they were like the last two to be like red. And I was like thinking like, I'm like pointing to the dude like, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, and then she like looks at Brian and she says, there's a lot of cat energy around you. Did you have cats? And he's like, yes. And she says, okay, because there's a very dominant male cat presence that's around you. And then Brian's like, and I was like, oh, like I kind of wanted her to root for you. And he goes, well, that's all I really needed. I just needed to hear that Presley's still around me. And I'm like, of course he's still around you. Like he's always around you. Like he's your dude. He's like the little dude of the dude. And so he was like, and for Brian, that's really all he needed to hear. Like he didn't need a full-on reading and talking to his mother and things like this. Like I guess that was all he needed was, hey, there's a male cat energy hanging around you, and that was enough for him. And I was like, oh, okay. Later on, she came back and she was like, she's like, did you guys have like a white dog? And I was like, I had a white dog. She's like, with black spots? I'm like, no, I had a small Maltese. And she's like, I get it that it's like a dog, but maybe it was a big cat. And she goes, did it have a black spots or like a black spot, something with a spot? And Brian and I are like, no, like he's like, and she says, well, and she's like pointing to Brian. She's like, you have a lot of cat energy. Like you just like reek of cat energy. Like you look like a cat guy. Like she goes, I just see so many like cats around you. And he's like, yeah, that's true. And so, and then I was thinking after she read the lady next to him, and then, you know, she finished off and did her little closing thing. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, remember Presley had that spot on his tummy where his like belly button was, and I loved his little like black spot. I was like, Presley had a spot. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, I guess so. Like, that's the spot. And then when we left the party, we were walking down the sidewalk, and Brian's like, oh, like thinking like, oh, what's that coming towards us on the sidewalk? He thought it was a skunk. Turns out it was like a little teeny calico cat, and it was like a little stray or something like that. And then Brian bends down, and I swear like cats just run up to him. So he bends down, this kitten just comes running up to him. He's like, mew, mew, mew. And he's like petting it and petting his butt, and like, and then it flops on its back and like petting his tummy or her tummy. And then the like girl cat starts walking past me, and I'm like petting her butt and petting her tummy. But like she really liked Brian, and we're like telling her, okay, well, you know, you have bad owners because it's nighttime and there are cars out all over the place, and you should be home in your warm bed, you know, so you stay safe, stay on the sidewalk, don't go in the street, don't talk to strangers, and you go right home. And the kitty was like, mew, and she like started trotting off. So yeah, I just thought that was, and Brian's like, well, that was interesting. And I was like, don't you think Presley put that cat in your way? And he's like, maybe. I was like, I don't know. I just think it's kind of a coinky dink that, you get the whole you're the cat god, over there. And then, like, this little calico comes running up to you in the dark out of nowhere. Woodland said, ah, bless him. He's Catman, Kitten Man, superhero for the kitties. Yes, he is. He's totally cat dude. Okay, so my reading that I got. Okay, so let me show you the pictures that I brought. I'm going to take them off my altar here. Okay, so of course we had Presley. So this is our old cat Presley, and those beautiful, beautiful, actually he didn't have really blue eyes, they were lavender, so he had lavender eyes. And everybody loved his eyes. He was so beautiful. And he knew it. He knew that he was handsome. He knew that he was regal, and he always used to sit with his like chest out, just so yeah, so we brought a picture of Presley. We brought a picture of my dude's second cousin Kathy, and she had passed away this past December. So yeah, last year on the 26th, so right after Christmas. And gosh, she was hilarious. She was just a ball of energy, and she was Miss Colorado. She was on Broadway for a number of years. She played all the Disney princesses, on Broadway. She got to hang out with like the who's who in Hollywood. Like, she was like something, and she just like didn't lack confidence one bit. She was totally cool. And yeah, I'm glad we got to be there for her passing. It was just my dude's dad, him, and myself, and so so we were hoping to get a message from her, but Mary Street decided to have us feel like, she says, I know not everybody here is a sensitive or a medium. She goes, so I'm going to allow spirit to let you know what it feels like when spirit's around you, so that when you are going about your business and you feel that feeling again, that's when you know your loved ones are with you. So she was calling in spirit, and she told everybody to take a deep breath, and everybody took a deep breath, and everybody was just like kind of like chilling and centering themselves. And she says, okay, she says, now she goes, feel what your energy feels like. Do you know what you feel like right now? Do you know what your current mood is right now? And everybody's like, yeah, like I know what I feel like. She goes, feel your own heartbeat, feel like, okay, know that energy. That's your energy. That's what you feel like right now. And she says, now I'm going to have, she goes, think of the person that you want to speak to most with right now, and have them in your mind. And so everybody was like, doing that. And she says, okay, and now I'm going to have spirit step into your auric field. And so she says, and on the count of 3, they're going to do that. 1, 2, 3. And I started laughing because I saw Kathy doing like a dance number, and she's like singing like she always was. So she's like singing, and she's like, and then she says, okay, now she says, feel that. She goes, feel what that, how that's different than your energy. Now I'm going to have spirit step back, and then you feel like the energy go away. And she says, now I'm going to have spirit step in again. And they stepped in again, except this time Kathy brought my boyfriend's mom. So this is Joanne, this is his mother. And so they were both there, and his mother was like cracking up because she's a very like kind of proper lady, so she kind of was standing there with like her arms folded, and like Kathy used to just crack her up all the time. Like, if anybody could get her to loosen up, it was Kathy. And so Kathy's like, what are you standing there like a stick in the mud? Come on, girl, let's dance. And like, I see Brian's mother just like laughing and just like losing her crap, And so yeah, so I'm laughing, and I could hear somebody else laughing while we're doing this exercise. And then she's like, okay, now I'm gonna have spirit give you a big hug, and then I'm gonna have them step out of your field, and and then they were gone. And so then she went around the room, and she was kind of asking anybody who wanted to share their experiences, like what messages they got. And some people asked a question, and they were able to get a very clear answer from the person they were speaking to. So that was really cool. It was a really cool exercise. size. I asked Brian, I was like, so what did you feel? And he's like, with what? And I'm like, with the, I'm like, you know, I said, with spirit. And he's like, well, I don't know, but it was like, I guess, kind of interesting when she told Spirit to like step in, and my heart started racing like this. And I was like, ooh, like when I get tachycardia, it says, no, you're weird. You have a wonky heart. No, I had, he says, I had normal people flutters. He says, I just like, my heart was racing, and then she asked Spirit to step away, and then my heart went back to boom. Boop, boop. And then when he goes, and then when whatever came in again, it was like boom, 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 boom. And I was like, well, who are you trying to connect with? And he's like, well, Presley, of course. So yeah, and that's the dude on woo woo. Okay, and then the person that I really wanted to connect to, who I've been feeling around a lot lately, probably this past year, is my grandfather. So this is my dad's dad. So this is Grandpa Gypto. This is my Nana, which is my grandmother, my dad's mother. This is my dad, and this is my Aunt Caroline. All three of these people have passed. So, you know, my dad is the only one left. Well, I mean, he has other brothers and sisters from like other marriages from my Nana, but this was his only like full blood sister. So, she was going around the room, and I thought she was going to go to the lady next to me, and then she puts her hands on my shoulder and she's like, hello. I'm like, hello. And she's like, so, did you want to get a message from a man? And I was like, why, yes. Hey, Snoop Debbie Deb. She said, hey, Tara, and I'll watch later. Pick me a card, please. I am at work. Much love. Will do. At the end, I'll make sure that I pull everybody a card today. Okay. So I was like, well, yes. And so she said, and who of these people are you trying to connect to? And, you know, because I had, you know, all of these pictures, you know, on the table in front of us. And I was like, oh, well, anyone will do, because I didn't want to be like, because I wanted Brian to get a reading too, so I was like not trying to say, oh, I want to speak to my grandpa, you know, because I know that he would probably want to hear from our cat or his mother or, you know, his cousin Kathy. So I was like, oh, you know, like anybody here. And she's like, don't be quaint. She goes, you're trying to connect to your grandfather, aren't you? And I was like, yeah, wait, how'd you know he's my grandfather? Oh, wait, never mind. So, psychic in the house. So yeah, so she picks up this and she says, who are these people? She goes, is this your dad or is this your dad? And I said, this is my dad. And she says, I kind of felt like this was your dad. And I said, well, that's funny because my dad is a carbon copy of him. And when I would see pictures of him around my Nana's house, I always thought it was my dad. They have the same mole by their eye on the same side. Like they have the same hairline, the same eyes, like except for my dad is like a foot taller than his dad. But like, you know, because my grandpa is just like this little Filipino dude, but like, but yeah, and she said, he's very, she goes, he's congratulating you. And I was like thinking like, for what? And she says, he is so proud of what you're doing. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. Because actually, like in reality, I never got to meet my grandfather, and it's not that he passed away before I was born, but my dad and my grandfather were not getting along because my dad's mother like disliked him, so therefore my dad disliked him. And so now that he's gone, my dad regrets it because he realized that maybe he wasn't such a bad guy after all, because he really was trying to reach out to my dad all the time. And he was like, I shouldn't have just carried my mother's anger towards him, when I should have been like, that's her anger and that's really not my anger. So he says, well, now it's too late to talk to his dad. But you know, so I tell my dad, I was like, you know that like I can do stuff. I could like try to talk to Gypto for you, because that's what everybody calls him, is Gypto. And he was like, I could talk to him. And my dad's like, he probably doesn't want to talk to me anyway. You know, my dad's got like some stuff going on. So, so yeah, so she said, anyway, this man here is very, very proud of you. He's congratulating you. And she was like, ooh, who's this beautiful woman? And I was like, that's my Nana. And she went, well, she's very quiet right now. And we're like, well, well, I said she was kind of a quiet person. When she spoke, people listened. But normally during that kind of stuff, she's really chatty and she's always wanting to talk to me. But I guess with him around, she was not as chatty. She was just kind of remaining quiet. So she was connecting with my grandfather here. And so she's like, she says, last Halloween or last Dia de los Muertos, you were here. And your boyfriend's mother was coming through and saying that you needed to do more of your spiritual stuff, your tarot cards, your mediumship readings, like you needed to do more of that. Have you done more of that since last we spoke? And I was like, well, yeah. I said, in fact, I'm doing a lot more readings now. And I said, you know, I've done a lot more with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. I had a meetup, you know, over the summer. I'm making an oracle deck. Like I'm doing a lot more. And she said, well, this guy here feels that you need to do a lot more. He feels like you're not putting yourself out there enough. And I was like, I don't know how to put myself out there anymore. Like I said, I do YouTube, I do live chats, I have social media, like I have a Facebook page, I have Instagram. I said I have Patreon. I said I'm always like posting like what I do. I was like, I said I tell people what I do, like when, you know, I meet people and stuff like that. I said I don't know really like how to put myself out there anymore. And she says, well, he's saying that you need to do that. And she says that he was saying that, she says he really feels like your light is a must, that people need your energy in the world. And I was like, you know, because I don't want everybody to think like, you know, so I'm like looking around and I'm like, you know, because I want people to think, you know, things about me. So I'm just like, like kind of embarrassed. But I was like, I don't know, like I just try doing what I do. Like I like to just, when I make videos, I like to just be fun, you know. There's enough like, you know, crud going on in the world for me to make like cruddy videos and just like to add on top of it. So like I like to just have fun with people. You know, I like to hang out with you guys and like have fun. And so so yeah, she was just like, so he says that you need to put yourself out there more, that you need to share your energy more with others. People are really needing that energy right now. And then she started to walk away and she said, you have a career right now, don't you? And I said, yeah, yeah. And then Brian's like, yeah, she's a teacher. And she says, yeah. He says, you need to spend more time in the realms. You need to spend more time doing your other stuff. Do your tarot cards and your medium and working with spirit. He says that's where you're needed now. And she says, so anyway, she goes, I'm just saying that he's saying that soon you're going to need to get out of that and you're going to need to do what you do right now part-time at full-time. She goes, okay, I'm out. And I was like, oh, okay. So, and then Brian just like looked at me and he's like, you do not need to do any more tarot cards. Like, you know, he goes, you buy way too many tarot cards. He's like, you already spend enough time. He says, making videos and doing readings for people. He's like, you need to spend more time doing your teacher stuff. He says, because that's where you're good. He goes, that's where, you know, money and stability are at. He says, not with your woo-woo stuff. And I was like, yeah, but my dead grandfather, he would know. He's like dead on the other side. Like he told me. And he was like, ugh. I was like, your mother last year even said I needed to do it more. And he's like, well, what does my mother know? Nobody listens to my mother anyway. So yeah, so the dude is very hesitant for me to want to do this full time. And I think that's the part where she was like, you're holding back. And I was like, what am I holding back? She said, are you holding back in your readings? Are you like not confident in yourself? And I was like, I'm pretty confident, but I mean, you know, I have like insecurities like everybody else. Like you always are like kind of unsure, you know, when you give a reading or like you're connecting with spirit for somebody, you're always like kind of unsure, like am I making it up or am I actually doing something? But then when you get feedback from people, people are like, oh, how could you possibly know that? Or that totally pertains to my life. It's like, oh, you know, once I get that validation, I'm like, okay, then I know what I'm doing is good. But I said, you know, I'm not like so insecure about it where I don't give people readings. Like I do it because I know that I have to, and I know that it will help somebody. I said, so that's why I give my readings, and that's why I do like my like practicing here, you know, during my live streams, you know, with like my mediumship skills. I said, because I know that it's helping people. And I said, so any insecurities I have, I like kind of push them to the side. And she's like, then maybe that's not it. She goes, but you're holding back somewhere. She says, you're holding back. Are you holding back in pursuing this as a full-time career? And I was like, and I didn't really want to, cause you know, the dude is not, he's not keen on, I was like, because he's like, he says, you don't know how to be an independent business owner. He goes, I know what it's like because I've been an independent business owner for like well over 10 years now. He goes, it is a dog eat dog world out there. And he goes, it is like, he says, you got to be tough. You got to know how to market yourself. And I was like, yeah, but weren't you a marketing major? Like, can't you help me? Can't my dude who's like an independent business owner and knows how all this stuff works, like help me? And he's like, he goes, you're just good being a teacher. Like, just stay being a teacher. You're good at it. The kids love you. Just stay there. He says, and you know, and then you're going to have a great retirement. He says, stay there till you're like, I don't know, like 65 and then retire. And I was like, oh. So this is where we differ in things. So yes, I possibly maybe be holding myself back a little bit because I know that he cares for me, and I know that he is not keen on that idea. So it is much more drinkable now. Talk turkey to me. Okay. Alrighty. So, Keith said you should do whatever your heart calls you to do. Well, my heart definitely says I need to do my woo-woo. My heart is like here. Like, this is where I'm happy. Doing readings, doing practicing and gaining knowledge for like everything and anything that will help people. Yeah, which is why I spend so much time, if I have time, you know, outside of work, like doing my woo-woo stuff. Solaria says, I mean, I understand it from a logical perspective. It would be difficult to see the viability in it if you aren't part of that particular market. Yes. Yeah, because he's very business minded. Okay, so I always say I'm up in the clouds. I'm like all like, you know, dancing with the spirits and stuff. And like my dude is very on the ground. He's very grounded. He is very like logical, and this is the best plan because it's the safest plan and things like that. But he's taken risks in his life. But I know that although I get frustrated with his points of view sometimes, I know that it's coming from a place of love from him, because he doesn't want to see me struggle. He doesn't want to see me like fail or like get upset, you know, because things aren't going the way I would hope them to be. So I know he's looking out for me in that way, and that he doesn't want me to take such big risks, you know, because the cost for, you know, of falling is big, you know, or failing. So, but you know, we listen to all this like motivational stuff all the time, and in that motivational stuff, it's you know, his favorite person to listen to is Arnold Schwarzenegger, like his motivational speeches, like irregardless of like all the other stuff he's done, like when it came to like weightlifting and just like just like some guy from like Austria who just like comes to a different country, makes it big because he can lift heavy stuff, and then makes it into the movies merely because he's like a buff dude, you know. Makes a career out of it, makes a career out of having a super thick accent, you know, becomes governor of California, like, except, you know, it's just like he's inspired by that, you know. So he's like, so we listen to this stuff, and one of his favorite things is don't be afraid to fail, you know, he says. And you know, when somebody tells you that something's impossible, Arnold Schwarzenegger says that's great, because then that means that when I do it, I will be the first person who has done it. And so that's Brian's favorite stuff to listen to. So I'm like, so why can't that be me? I'm just saying. Anyway. Okay, so Bella said, you'll know when the time is right. Trust spirit. Yes. And New Age said, Arnie is awesome. I love his talks on the environment. Yes. Yeah, I mean, you know, I know there's a lot of people that don't like Arnold Schwarzenegger because of like his you know, what, cheating on his wife with the maid and all that stuff. And but it's like I'm not like focused on that stuff. I'm focused on like what he did, and you know, and the drive and determination that took, like that is inspiring. You know, I don't care about like like everything else. It's just like, you know, to see somebody reach so much success coming really from nothing, you know, to me that's inspiring. So Sylvester Stallone was homeless and sold his dog for a meal, and then sold his story, and then boom. Yes, I remember reading that about Sly, like that he had, yeah, sold his dog and sold, you know, basically Rocky, you know, the first Rocky, so that he could make the movie. And then later on he did buy his dog back, by the way. um Solaria says, it's like that thing people say about saints or people touched by spirit. Hey, they are never valued or recognized in their time. Yeah. New Age said, they said he couldn't act because of Stallone's voice, but he was like, screw that. Well, yeah, him and, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's like, we can't understand you, but like that's who they are now. Like people love them for that. They love Sylvester Stallone for how he talks, and they love, like, he has a certain way of acting, and so does like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then that accent. And actually, did you know about Arnold Schwarzenegger? He lost his accent because he was, you know, after a while, and then when he called people on the phone, they wouldn't believe that it was him. So he actually had to go back to get voice lessons to relearn how to talk like he used to. So the Arnold Schwarzenegger that you hear now is him who has retrained himself to speak like California, you know, like things like that. And so they said sometimes like you'd hear phone interviews when he'd be like, do you want to hear how I sound when I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger? And they're like, sure. And he just sounds like a regular dude. And they're like, what? Like he says, so I can't call people talking like myself because people won't know it's me. So I have to talk like Arnold, you know, so that they know it's him. Let's see. Solaris said Stallone was also a porn star and a porn writer. Interesting. Hey, I mean, people gotta do what they gotta do. Keith said, oh, secret path. Maybe the dude is just a little fearful and he just probably wants for one of you to have a safety net. Exactly. So he's always like, he says, because he says, like, what if something happens in my business? And he goes, I need to lean on you for support. He says, you are the one with the stable income. You're the one with the health benefits and the retirement. And he says, like he says, and you're the one basically, because of your job and your income, you're the one that helped us get this house. And he's like, so if you didn't have that, things would be much harder. And I'm like, yeah, but we have the house already now. And I'm like, so yeah, I've really been feeling this call from spirit, and like, yeah, big time. My grandpa's been hanging around, and I keep feeling him, like, because he was such a gambler. Like my grandpa, he would win like every horse race that he would bet on. Like he loved to gamble. My dad loves gambling too, but more just like lottery tickets. And my dad has he has won significant amounts of money through the lottery, which coincidentally helped me go to college. And my grandpa, he's like, he was just always really lucky. So I could see why he would be the one maybe helping me out, because he's the gambler. He's like the take a chance. He was also an independent business owner. He came over here basically with nothing from Cebu, Philippines. Well, he went from Cebu to Manila. Then he joined the United States Navy so that he could come over, and you were allowed to bring like one relative. So he brought one of his sisters here to the United States, and he ended up starting like a laundry business out of my Nana's apartment, you know, after they got married. And then they used the money to have an actual laundromat. Then they used the money from the laundromat so that he could have a restaurant. And he had a restaurant, which was a restaurant by day, and it was a girly dance club by night, which serviced like all the sailors down in downtown. And then he was like partners with like a car dealership. He bought up, I don't know, like 8 or 9 different properties. Like he did really well for himself. He ended up losing it all at some point because he had made a terrible mistake. Yeah, he was always considered really lucky in things like that. Okay, so let me go back and see which is Gaz was saying. Newich said, also some people are raised that when you're done at school, you get a job, you work and work and work, and that's it. And they're sort of conditioned to always hustle. Yes. So it's hard for them and others to break that mold. Exactly. Bella said, this is your last year teaching. See, I keep feeling that. Like, seriously, like that's not just like my ego, like, this will be your last year. Like, I really do feel that inside, and inside it makes me happy and nervous all at the same time. Like, I really do feel it's my last year. My grandfather, I decided to have a like meditation with him after we got home from the party, and I know it was already really late, but I really wanted to talk to him. And I could feel his spirit with me, and his spirit was just so strong. I could see spirit a lot more clearly than I normally do that night. And so he was telling me, because he says, in his thick Filipino accent, he goes, baby, why are you so scared? And I was like, because I said, well, I said, you know how I am with money. Like, I am so, I said, I would be devastated if I couldn't pay my bills. That feeling when I can't do something and that I would need help. I said, I don't like that feeling. I love to help others, but I don't like the feeling that I need help. And I said, which is why I love to give of my money. Like, I love to give and help people out, buy people gifts. I said, but when it comes to me feeling like I don't have enough to even pay my own bills, I said, like, that is such a stressful place for me. I said, it's like really triggering of my childhood. And my grandpa was like, he goes like, you need to take this gamble. You need to take this gamble. And I was like, yeah, but I said, who's coming? He says, November. He says, November things are going to start to happen. And I was like, November, like this month, like right now? And he's like, yes. And I was like, things are happening this month. And he's like, it's going to happen. And there's going to be somebody coming, he was saying. And there's like, you're going to meet someone, and it's going to create this new shift, this opportunity for you. But he says, and then it carries on December, January. And he says, and then it really starts to roll like June, July. And then that's when it happens. And I was like, right before the school year? And he's like, he goes, hey, he goes, your grandpa, I'm always with you. And I was like, okay. I was like, I trust you. I said, because you always know which horse to put your money on. So, and I consider myself a horse. So, and he was like, hey. He goes like, that's my girl. So, yeah. Okay. New Age said, and January is coming fast. Yes, it is. And Solaria going, woo woo. Bella said, when the school year ends, it will be your last full-time teaching. And it will be, when the time's right, you'll have doors open that will show you the path you need to take. Yes. So that's kind of what I heard from my grandfather. So I'm nervous and excited all at the same time. Yeah, because it's like, I have dreams now. In my dreams, I'm hanging with spirit, like, all the time. Like, other people's, like, I know that I'm hanging, and I mean, they're not relatives or friends of mine, but I know I'm hanging with people that have crossed over. And I'm, like, doing this, like, full time in my dreams, and these dreams have become more frequent lately, so... And I always like these dreams. They're very comforting. New Age said, and you've got that mysterious someone to help you out. Yes, I do. I'm like waiting to see who this person is. Secret Past said, it will be really great to see you all this unfolding. Hey, and I mean, you guys have kind of already been with me on my journey so far. And of course, I'm going to continue to share my journey with you guys, as always. So have some more tea. I kind of feel my grandfather with me here right now too, so. So anyway, the Dia de los Muertos party was pretty awesome. Oh, and then I wanted to show you guys, there was something, it was like a little, I don't know if you want to call it spell, but just a little something that I did. So back on Mabon, I mailed a letter to myself. Well, I guess I'm not gonna show you my address, eh? But I basically mailed a letter to myself, and of course I put Hello Kitty on it. And of course I put like little Hello Kitty stuff on the back too, because if I'm gonna mail a letter to myself, I'm gonna make it cute. And the dude's like, "Are you mailing a letter to yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You are such a dork." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm your dork." So in the letter, what I did was I mailed it to myself, you know, on Mabon, and then I wasn't going to open it until Samhain, and so that's what I did. And so just so, well, you'll see. So I wrote down everything that I'm thankful for. I wrote down all of my achievements, everything that I can come up with off the top of my head, and everything that I wish. And it was just kind of like I'm sending my energy actually, excuse me, through United States Post. I'm sending my energy out of like everything that I'm thankful for, everything that I know I've achieved, and these are all the things that I wish to happen, you know, and then having that letter come back to me, and then waiting to open it, and because I had forgotten actually everything that I put down, and it was nice to see everything that I had done. I mean, I guess you don't necessarily have to mail something to yourself. You could literally just write this down and then look at it later. But I kind of like the idea of like mailing yourself a letter, because it's like, oh, I have mail. Oh, look, it's from me. So well, I guess I'll read you guys some of the things that I'm thankful for, because hello, we're now in the thankful month of November, and I do have something really special for all of us planned in December, and it's gonna be called hashtag KWT Givecember, and you guys will see that, but that's something for all of us to join in on, and I think we're really gonna like it, because well, when we get to December, I'll describe it more, but I had this in a dream. I heard it in the shower, and I heard my grandfather say it too, that this is what you guys need. So I'm doing it for you guys. Well, I do everything for you guys, but this is what we all really need. And I think you're really going to love Givecember when we get there. And yes, so anyway, all the things that I am thankful for. I'm thankful for my home, my garden, for Wally, for Loki, for Brian, for my good friend Steph, for all my friends, my family, the air in my lungs, my healthy body, the country that I live in, the food that's in my belly, all of my clothes, a working vehicle, my Viper, that I'm loved, that I know what love is, that I have a stable income, that I don't have to worry about money, my ability to brighten others' day, my smile, my clairs, my healing ability, my KWT tribe, my my inspirations, my five senses, my ability to see beyond this world, and I am thankful for my life. So yeah, it was everything that I could come up with off the top of my head that I was thankful for, and then everything that I have achieved. And so I'm hoping, you know, maybe you guys might want to do this too. I mean, we're in November. Okay, things that I have achieved. I've achieved buying a home, owning a pet, which, you know, it was like I've always wanted to like have a pet, because yes, actually buying my Viper, something that I wanted since I was like 13, getting a teaching job, getting paid to sing opera, traveling abroad, getting paid for my photography, having a six-pack. It's really hard, people. It's like six-packs are really hard. I'm thankful for my body, dating Brian. See, that's more of like a cheeky, I made that to be funny, but I guess, well, you guys wouldn't know the joke, but creating KWT, working on my Oracle deck, my sixth sense, being able to monetize my YouTube channel, building my company, owning a truck, being able to own my body, controlling my emotions, working through grief, working with my anxiety, public speaking, going to work even though I don't want to sometimes, being able to sew my own clothes, my ability to make jewelry, having a savings account, my perfect banana, loving others and trusting others. Okay, let me look here. Okay. Oh, okay. I'll read some after I do this. Okay, and then my wishes. Here are my wishes. My wishes. I wish to be a full-time tarot card reader, healer, and medium. And then I was saying what I have to do in order to reach that goal. And then I said I want to be Brian's sugar mama someday. And then what I have to do to reach that goal. Because right now we have something called Sugar Mama Sunday. And so, you know, because Brian usually pays for most everything. I mean, this stuff's really big, then we go half and half on it. But like on Sundays, that's like, I don't know. I don't even know how we came up with Sugar Mama Sunday, but basically on Sundays I pay for everything. So like we do our grocery shopping then. So like I pay for the Costco bill, I pay for all the gas. If we go out to eat, I pay for for our dinner. If we go somewhere for lunch, you know, I pay for lunch. If we go into a store and we're thinking of like, you know, like Brian sees a shirt and he likes it, then I'm gonna buy him the shirt. You know, so Sugar Mama Sunday means I do all the buying on Sunday. So but see, I wish I could do that all the time. And then I said that I wish that I had the cash to totally make over my whole home, like the yard, everything. Like I wanted to make this like just an awesome place. And then I would like invite people rotations in my backyard and stuff like that. So Max is just laughing about the sugar mama. See, I love being sugar mama. Okay, so let me go back to what you guys was saying. Secret Path said, loves this idea. I'm going to be doing it too. Oh, awesome. Max said, I dreamt of a lot of black frogs and they got more every time a music played and I stopped the music and ran, and there were small frogs that grew into giant frogs. Ooh, so that's like some transformation and like abundance going on. So let me see, was it, yeah, you stopped the music and the small frogs grew into big frogs. Maybe the music is like, I'm just guessing, action, and when the distraction's gone, then manifestation gets to take place. I don't know. Maybe that's what the dream means. New Age said, I love doing this even though it's been with Royal Mail. I kind of see it that the universe brought it, almost like sending it out there. Yes. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just gonna hold on to these. I don't know, maybe like tuck my altar or something like that. So yes, letter to me. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, I almost forgot my crystal. I want to show you guys my crystal. So, you know, every day I was like pull a crystal, kind of like you do a daily draw for yourselves. Well, I like to pull a crystal for myself too. So I have a beautiful piece of quartz here. It's even got like some etching up at the top, you know, like a record etching. It's like pretty cool. And it's like self-healed at the bottom, which is pretty neat. And it has some inclusions in it. This is definitely one of my more high vibe pieces of quartz, and it was actually super cheap. New Age said, and letters are cool. I used to write letters to my friend during school and we exchanged letters at lunch. Ah, I wish I could show it. Well, okay, I can't go under the house right now, but you know, 'cause we're doing this live chat, but yeah, I have a little Barbie tin that I keep all of my letters that I still have that I used to pass back and forth to my friends in class back when I was in high school. I mean, I never passed letters in class. What am I talking about? My students aren't here, but but yeah, we used to do the like origami folding. Like sometimes we'd fold it into the shape of a heart, or sometimes you'd fold it into like the shape of like a ninja star, or sometimes you'd fold it in like the shape of like a little like a pull tab and like the letter opens. New Age said, things like this lesson is so boring and Phil is so cute and I can't wait to go home and make out with my boyfriend. Oh my gosh. That is so awesome. So yeah. So yeah, I've kept a lot of those letters that I've passed back and forth with my friends back in high school, and they're so dumb. Like it was like check this box, and like and we would like pass it back and forth and like write on it and be like, um do you guys remember basically learning origami? Yes. Oh, we did learn how to make the little like swan. Like I don't think I can actually, I would have to like re-unfold everything and see like how I folded it. Oh yeah, and then the squares is footballs. Yes, like the little triangles. And we used to like do this and then somebody would like kick the note. Yeah, we used to do the little footballs. The heart took me forever to learn. Yeah, the heart was hard. Ooh, I used to do the little, I used to have a lot of them, the little cootie catchers, you know, that you put in your fingers like this and you go like dirt, 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 dirt. And like, you know, somebody picks a color like on the top, it would be like blue. So you'd be B-L-O-U. And like, okay, now pick a number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then you lift it up and you get your like psychic message or something. Like we used to do like fortune telling with each other. Let's see. I learned playing, the only origami I can make is a panda. Yes, with names, yes. We never did that, but we did make the fold out thing. You make the triangles and write messages and numbers on them. Yeah, so yeah, we used to do the little like messages and we also did MASH. Oh my God, we did MASH. Oh, wow. Yeah, mansion, apartment, shack, house. Oh my God, we used to play MASH. Oh my God, you guys are taking me back. Oh my God, I haven't played MASH in so long. Oh, that's something in some free time I could do with my kids. Because I used to do that with my students back in the day with my EL students. To get them like to practice English. I had them do the little like divination thing so that they could like learn the colors and learn like counting out in English and so I did like my childhood stuff with them. I actually played MASH with the students, but it was like only if like we finish all our work today. I said, and if there's 5 minutes before the bell, we're gonna play MASH, and the kids would be like, yes. And yeah, like high schoolers totally loved it. So I used to do that back in the day. Yeah, I used to play MASH. Oh, at the ends of our letters, we used to write SWAC, sealed with a kiss. I used to teach my kids that game. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, like we used to have so much fun, you know, because we didn't have like, I mean, some people had pagers. I didn't have a pager, but like we didn't have cell phones. At that time there was no real internet yet. Internet didn't really come out like with AOL, you know, America Online until like, I guess when I started high school. So so and even then the internet like wasn't that great. I mean, you could used to be able to go into like the AOL chat rooms, but the chat rooms would get like so creepy. Like the guys would be sending you like creepy pics. Like it would always get taken over, and it was like, oh, the early days of internet. Yes, or a swack sealed with a loving, or a swalk sealed with a loving kiss. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we used to send each other notes. Oh, I even have love letters from 2 ex-boyfriends. One of them from high school and one of them like my first year of college. So, and they were like so, oh my gosh. Like one of them where he was like writing me poetry and like song lyrics because he used to like play the like bass guitar for me. There was another guy like just like telling me about his day playing football, and it was Max said, I enjoyed your newsletter that came to my email. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. You know, I was sitting there. Okay, so I don't know, for the rest of you guys, if you don't know, I have a newsletter and I send it out at the beginning of every month. So I don't usually bombard people with like weekly newsletters or things like that. And it's usually just, I mean, I do a little bit of promotion of like, hey, this is what's going on in my shop, but it's mostly just like it's like a blog for me almost. Hey, Lokester. And so, oop, big panther tail. But yeah, I was like sitting there, what to write, and all of a sudden it was like I got hit upside the head with like the muse, and it's like, this is what you're gonna write. And I just like was like cranking out that newsletter. I was like, and then when I was all done, I was like, holy crap, like I think I actually wrote something like worth reading. So yeah, I just I don't know, I felt like I was kind of like something was working through me this time when I wrote that newsletter for this month. New Age said, or the percent thing, adding your name with the guy you like with loves in between and reducing it down to a number, and then that would be the percent of your love. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard of that one. I know that there was one, what was it? Maybe that was MASH. Yeah, because I think, was it MASH where it also told you like how many babies you were gonna have, what the what he was gonna drive, what she was gonna drive, like yeah, and then like what kind of house you would live in, and then it says like what your job will be, what his job will be. Yeah, we used to, oh my gosh, you know, now I think about it, like as kids we used to do like so much divination stuff. Like we were all about like how things were gonna be. You know, when I was in 6th grade, I remember some of my friends and we would sit around at recess, and I remember sitting there and I was like, let's make the trees move, let's make it windy. So we'd like concentrate, and we thought we could control the weather, and we'd sit there, and then when the breeze would pick up, we're like, oh, we did that, we made the trees move. And you know what, I'd be lying if I didn't say like to some extent I still try to do that. I still like sometimes will like be outside and I'll be like, I want it to be breezy, and I'll be like so like I kind of want it to be like a little more windy, you know, or I want the wind to die down, you know, and I always see if I can do it, you know. So yeah, there's definitely still a lot of child in me. Okay, I don't know if you guys did that, thought you could control the weather. But you guys should totally do like our like quote unquote origami notes, but like make that note, but like to yourself, and then open it like a year from now, or you know, yeah, like next Samhain, or you just want to open up like 2 months from now. But you guys should totally do that, you know, just do the variation of a letter, you know, just do it old school, high school style, like fold it up all awesome. Max said, OMG, giant cup. You like that? Talk turkey to me. See, I have to wait all year to use this ginormous mug because it's got a turkey on it. Solaria said, OMG, I remember doing that. There is a running joke between me and a close friend that whenever we are together, it rains. Did you do light as a feather and stiff as a board? Yes, light as a feather, stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board. Yes, we used to do that. I did that with my cousins when I went to Ohio to for my grandmother's funeral. I remember us being in a darkened bathroom, and we like lit one candle, and one of us laid on the floor. We had like the 2 fingers, and we were trying to like lift them. We were doing light as a feather, stiff as a board, and yeah, like I remember doing that stuff. Apparently there's a Hulu show based on that, and we don't have Hulu here. Really? I have Hulu. I get it free through my my cell phone service. I'm gonna have to check that out. You know what we also used to do, because we used to try to scare each other too. And I probably wouldn't do it now, just in case. But we used to do Bloody Mary, because I don't know, we were just like a couple of stupid like 12-year-olds. But this is back when I was in 6th grade. I remember we'd shut all the lights off in like our school's bathroom, and then we'd do Bloody Mary, and then we'd run out screaming because somebody claimed they saw red eyes in the mirror, and we were always just trying to like scare each other. And I remember I was so scared of Bloody Mary, like I didn't want to look in a mirror ever again. And I remember I came home, and my mom's like, okay, why are you doing this when you walk by mirrors? And I was like, because my friends do Bloody Mary. And my mom's like, Bloody Mary's not real. And she's like, okay, what do you have to do? So I told her that you have to turn around a certain number of times, and you have to say Bloody Mary, and then you have to, and the lights have to be off, and you have to look in the mirror. And my mom's like, okay, well, I'll be here with you, and just to show you that it's not real. And she had like this huge mirror over her dresser. She was like, I'm gonna turn the lights off, and I'm gonna stand right here. I'm gonna show you Bloody Mary's not real. And I was like, no. And so like my mom made me do it. Oh my God, Candyman. Candyman was scary too. Like word. And I remember like I was done, and my mom's like, okay, do you see red eyes in the mirror? And I was like, no. My mom's like, that's because it's not real, honey. Yeah, she goes, people can't summon demons. And I was like, okay. I was like, but my friend said he saw something. My mom's like, yeah, well, your friends are also full of crap. And I was like, okay. Okay, so New Age was like, I never did Bloody Mary. Yeah, you know, I probably wouldn't do any of that now. Like, no, I mean, just in the off chance that I'm actually summoning something, no thank you. Yeah, Candyman. And then there was that dang movie. I couldn't go see that. Like, my friends went and saw Candyman. I could not go see Candyman. Like, no. And I can't really do scary movies now. I'm like such a big chicken. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, you know what I did with my students on Halloween, because we still had school obviously on Wednesday. All the kids were dressed up, and I love their costumes, by the way. And and I was all dressed up. I was dressed up as a sloth. Some of you guys may have seen that on my Facebook page or my Instagram. So at Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, if you want to go see my Instagram. Yeah, so I was a sloth, and I decided, you know, because I made little candy bags for everybody, and all the kids seemed really appreciative, and so we did the candy bags. Then I talked about Halloween around the world, how different cultures celebrate Halloween. And then after that, and I said, well, I said, so Halloween is a time for spooky stories. So I said, let's tell some stories. And I said, you know, if you feel like you've had a paranormal experience, I said, let's share it here. And I said, and what I will not tolerate is somebody making fun of somebody else, because they believe in the paranormal. I was like, you know, I said, so nobody's allowed to make fun of anybody else's story. I said, but I said, feel free to embellish your stories. They're like, ooh, okay. So yeah, they were telling all their stories, and one of them was like, he was like, okay, Proctor Valley Road, and all the kids went, whoa, like, no, you did not go to Proctor Valley Road. And Proctor Valley Road was a scary road for me to go on back when I was in high school, and my mom remembers Proctor Valley Road back when she was in high school. Like, that road is supposed to have, like, there is so many scary stories that come from Proctor Valley Road. So I don't know if you guys you ever come to San Diego, go to, like, in Bonita area, there's a place called Proctor Valley Road, and is a very, very haunted road. And teenagers will go out there for a joyride, like, every once in a while to, like, get a good scare. I know I said, I do Bloody Mary, and Sam and Dean are gonna rescue me. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Proctor Valley Road, okay, so my students, like, okay, he said he and all his friends were all piled up in their car, and they're going down Proctor Valley Road. I need to get that Haunted Sandy D book. Ugh. So that you go down the road, and it's supposed to be like late at night, and Proctor Valley Road used to be a one-way dirt road, but now it's like a two-way road because they've since built houses down there. But once the road goes off and then becomes, like, there's a short portion of it where it's still a one-way dirt road, but most of it is paved now. So the kids go off to the part to where it's just one way, and so you drive, and you're supposed to run into the demon truck. So there's this truck where the headlights turn on, and this truck starts racing towards you on a one-way road. And so this kid was like, he says, I kid you not, me and my friends driving down the road, and these headlights came on. Freaking, it was the truck. It was the demon truck. And he says the demon truck was, like, coming towards us, and, like, we didn't know what to do, so we just started screaming, and we sat there, and the truck, like, went off the side of the road and, like, went past us. He's all, I looked in the truck, I didn't see a driver, yo, there was no driver. It was, like, totally dark in there because it was, like, dark. And, like, he's like, and then we were like, we looked behind us, and it was gone. He was like, there was no more demon truck. Like, there was no lights, no tail lights. Like, the truck was gone. We didn't even hear the truck anymore. And he was like, I swear I'm telling the truth. And one of the other kids was like, no, he's totally telling the truth. Like, that happened to us too. Oh, New Age said Proctor Valley Road even sounds spooky. Yes. So, so then he says that they all went to a gas station afterwards. Oh my God, Christine, yes. So they go to a gas station, and they said that you're supposed to look on your back window because you're supposed to see a pair of handprints. And so they went back there. He's like, dude, the handprints were there, but it had these really long fingers, and like they were just like staying there, like sweaty handprints, like on our back window. We were like, whoa, freaking out. So then we started putting our hands on the window, but our handprints would disappear because, you know, they don't like stay. And we're like trying to make the handprints stay, and we're like, oh my God, that was the freaking devil. And so we're like, it was the devil. And so then like we went home. And then one of the other kids were like, no, it's true. Like that has happened to us. They're like, Mrs. Egyptian, we are so scared of it, like Proctor Valley Road. And I was like, maybe you kids don't go driving down a one way with like scary trucks coming after you. And so some of them decided to go take a joyride on Halloween night. So they text messaged me because I do something called remind text, where they don't actually have my cell phone number and I don't actually have theirs, but it's like a safe way for teachers and students to text each other, and it's like a way for parents to get texts and things like that too. And so they're like texting me. They're like, oh my God, we're on Missy, we're on Proctor Valley Road right now. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, please be safe, buckle up. Remember, no drinking and driving. You guys shouldn't be drinking anyway, you're underage. And I was like, be safe and go home like at a decent hour. They're like, yes, ma'am. So yeah. If you ever have a chance, Proctor Valley Road. We have a lot of like considered haunted places all over San Diego. One of my students swears that she saw one of the Whaley daughters at the Whaley house, which is like a actual historic on record haunted house here in San Diego, in Old Town San Diego. She says that when she was really little and her family had gone on a tour of the Whaley house, that she saw this girl in period dress, which a lot of the people in Old Town dress in period dress, you know, for the tours. She said, but this little girl just looked out of place, and she says, and although she looked like everybody else, like human-wise, you know, she had these like tight ringlet curls. She says something just seemed different about her, like she didn't belong there. And she says, and she looked at me and I looked at her, we looked at each other, and I looked away to look at my mom, and I looked back and she was gone. And she was like, I totally saw the Whaley's daughter. And she goes, I must have been about like 7 years old at the time. And I was like, maybe you did. So yeah, the kids have continued telling their spooky stories. Like they are on a roll right now, because they're like, everybody's like saying their house is haunted, or somebody's like rocking chair likes to rock on its own. Another girl said she sees like a shadow figure behind her curtains at night. Like yeah, it was just they've been really open about like talking about their spooky stories because of, you know, Dia de los Muertos and Halloween. So like I'm always trying to like open that up for them. Your secret pass says you are probably the coolest teacher. All the kids want to be in your class. I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know. It's so funny because it's like, because I always welcome my students into my classroom, so I always stand outside my classroom. And every now and then I'll get some of my former freshmen that are now seniors. They're always walking by. They're like, Miss E, I want to be in your class. And I was like, you're like right next door. Like we all teach literally the exact same thing. They're like, I know, but I want to be in your class. And I was like, why is my class any different? I don't know. Because you make things like funnier. I was like, well, I said, go tell Miss Chilela to go like entertain you. So yeah, and then then there was a freshman on Friday that came over to my classroom during passing period. He's like, I want to be in your class. And I was like, and you are? Because I had like freshmen, like I have one class of freshmen, and I didn't know who this freshman was. And I was like, and you are? And he's like, do you know who so-and-so is? And I was like, oh yeah, I had him as a freshman. He must be a junior this year. He said, yeah, he's a junior. He's my brother. And he said he really liked your class, and he said I should get your class, but I got like Miss R's class. And I was like, well, she's a nice teacher too, and you're literally right across from me, and you know, we teach the same things. Like, I know, but I've heard all the stories of like being in your class from my brother, and I thought it'd be cool to be in your class. And I was like, I don't know, you know, it's like kind of flattering on some level, and then on some level you're kind of like, I hope I'm not the easy teacher. Am I the easy teacher? I was like, no, I'm pretty strict with them, because I do upset students sometimes. I'm like, okay, I'm not the easy teacher. As long as I'm not the easy teacher. I don't want to be that teacher. Okay. Alrighty, so let's do in here, I wanted to share with you guys a meditation. Oh my gosh, we're already on 84 minutes. Okay, so tell you what, I'll do the meditation with you guys, and then I'll pull you each a card. You know, and then we'll do our little healing at the end. Okay, so I wanted to find, there was a particular meditation in here, page 55, and this is in the Natural Magic book from the Modern Witchcraft series, and this is by Judy Ann Nock. Okay, so 55. Let's get here. Okay, so this is a meditation to connect with Earth, because you know, I think the energies right now, there's you know, it just being so full of like spirit energy and a lot of very like up in the sky type energy, that I think some grounding is in order. And so if you guys want to watch this on the playback too, this would be cool. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so this is a meditation. It's called Climbing the Mountain. So I'm just going to read from here. So if you're busy right now, then obviously you can come back to this, you know, later. But, you know, I just kind of want to put it out there. So anybody who watches the replay or just, you know, you want to come back to this, you can. So it's called Climbing the Mountain, and this is in order to ground you into earth energy. Okay, so sit comfortably, either upright in a chair or in the lotus position on the floor. For me, I just like to sit cross-legged, just chilling like I am. Engage in deep, mindful, conscious breathing. Tap into the cycle of energy released and replenished and released. Breathe rhythmically from your core. Your shoulders should not be moving. Rather, you feel the expansion of breath across your back. Close your eyes and focus on that which you need to accomplish. Silently define your goal in your mind's eye. Picture it in detail. When you have given thought to your highest hope, allow a scene to unfold in your mind. The sky is a clear, piercing blue with only an occasional feathery cloud drifting by. The air is moved by an unseen wind, not too strong, but just enough so that you notice it. Before you is the base of a mountain covered in foliage. You observe the many textures of its surface, smooth faces of rock, stony outcroppings, alluring pathways, intriguing plant life, and the sense that this mountain is inhabited by an array of flora and fauna. Toward the top, the density of the woodlands thins out, and you are able to see the majestic peak. You are moved to climb, for you have the strong sense that all that you seek lies at the top of this mountain. You begin to gather reserves of strength. You are called to this journey, knowing it will be difficult, knowing that only with great effort are great rewards achieved. You take a deep breath. You intend to climb. The first thing you notice on your ascent is the path. It is worn and easy to find. Others have blazed a trail here before you. Among the fallen leaves, the lichens softly enhancing the surrounding smooth rock. The tangle of roots underfoot is a clear path to your goal. You need only follow it. Your initial steps are easy. The slope is gentle and yielding. You pull back the occasional branch to pass with minimal effort. You begin to take note of your surroundings. The crispness of the air, the sound of the birds, the scampering of small animals. You continue to climb as the path gets steeper. You begin to feel the energy that you are using. You lean into your walk, an opposing force to the gravity that pulls you slightly off balance. As you ascend, you make frequent adjustments to your stride, leaning in or back as the path takes you along a meandering and rambling route. There is no straight path up this mountain. There are times when you doubt your own direction, but you know in your heart that if you continually head upwards, you will be on the correct path. Your breathing deepens and your legs strain, but still, you forge ahead. You notice a red-tailed hawk surveying you from the branches of a linden tree. The telltale burnt orange and brown stripes on her feathers allow you to identify her. You are careful not to make eye contact with this avian huntress, because you know that raptors can interpret eye contact as a sign of aggression. You bow your head, approaching the encounter with humility and respect. You are seeking communion, not a challenge, and certainly not a challenge in which you will falter. You continue on. High above you in the trees, you see something. You stop and remain motionless. It is a raccoon eyeing you. You observe quietly and contemplate all the different life forms on this planet. You are but one of many, each with equal right to inhabit this world. You marvel at the sufficiency of nature, how she provides for all her denizens so that they may flourish. You realize that you have an impact here too. You choose to treat the mountain as though it is a part of you, and you are part of it as well. Take nothing and leave nothing, so there is no disturbance. The beauty is yours to behold and not to diminish. You continue your climb. The path is growing narrower and steeper. You marvel at the ability of trees to cling to rocky outcroppings and fulfill their life cycles in such precarious places. You begin to gain a deeper understanding of the strength of roots. You consider the roots in your own life, the things that anchor you, that keep you steady even in the face of danger. Your breath grows short. You still have far to go. Now it seems that you need the assistance of these unfaltering trees. You grasp for low-hanging branches and pull yourself forward, each step slow and determined. You find yourself having to look ahead and decide where you will take a step before extending your leg, and you need help to balance. But you alone are on your journey and must remain resourceful and determined. You begin to tire, and your balance becomes uneasy. Now you are in the thick of it. You slowly slink to your hands and knees. The path is nearly gone, and you scramble from rock to rock, pausing after each maneuver. You stretch your body and reach forward with your right hand, then bend your left leg and gain a foothold. Extending your leg, you gingerly propel yourself forward, reaching now with the left hand, steadying yourself as you climb like an animal, ever close to the ground, ever closer to your animal nature. Your sense of survival begins to activate as all your energy becomes about the climb, the movement of your body, the unpredictable surface, the roots that threaten to trip you, the rocks that are just a little too smooth, and the air that seems to be growing thin. You feel lightheaded, and still you press on. Suddenly, you reach a plateau. You pause for rest. Your breath steadies and becomes deep and rhythmic once more. You slowly rise to your feet and take a few cautious steps forward. Behind you lies a valley, seemingly miles away. You are amazed at how far you have come. Above, you can spy the summit. Exhilarated, you realize that through persistence, you now have a perspective that you otherwise might never have experienced. Through sheer determination, you have arrived so close to your destination that you may as well already be there. Even the clouds seem closer, and on the wind, there is music. The sound travels through you, and you realize it is a voice with a message meant only for you. You turn your face to the sky. You see the clouds shifting, pulling together with the accelerating wind. You are beginning to resemble an animal. First you see the wings of the hawk, then the wind shift, and you believe that you see the silhouette of the raccoons. Slowly, every creature that you have encountered on your journey appears before you in the sky. Finally, the quickly shifting clouds take the form of a woman's face, and you know you are in the presence of the goddess. You close your eyes, and an ethereal voice floats through your mind. You have tested yourself in your seeking. What have you gained? The question that forms in your mind seems to come from the sky. It catches you off guard. You set off with a goal in mind, and through pursuing your goal, the journey overtook you. You focused less on what you set out to achieve and more on the abundant life around you. Your connection to all beings, the hard and rocky ground, the yielding supple earth, the creatures of the air and land, the sound of the wind overhead, and the sounds of branches snapping underfoot. You thought of the contradictions everywhere, how beauty can be treacherous, a task unattainable, and a journey that reaches a climax that does not quite end. In your mind, you reply, I have learnt that the beginning is an ending. To climb, I have to say goodbye to level ground. And now that I have gone as far as I can go, I am not quite where I thought I would be. And the ending is also a beginning. When I have reached as far as I am able, I am still only in the middle, for I must return to my point of origin. The wind rustles around you in affirmation. You hear the cry of the hawk overhead. You feel the intensity of your altitude, and floating through your mind like a comforting song again is the voice of the goddess. I am the mountains. Its strength is my strength. You are the mountain. My strength is your strength. With each step, you bring yourself closer to me, to your source of origin. There, you will find me in all beginnings and in all endings. Alive in her divine presence, you feel reserves of strength begin to surge within you. You understand that the real work of magic lies in the doing, the singular steps that add up to a journey. Inspired and refreshed, you slowly begin the long, arduous, solitary climb back down. And there you go. That is your kind of grounding within yourself journey. And I just thought it would be a really nice meditation. So you guys just, I feel refreshed actually just reading that. And I feel like, wow, that was like actually like talking to me too. So there's probably a reason I chose that meditation for today. Okay, so let's go ahead, and it looks like there's only 5 people here, so excellent. I know this is kind of like a busy weekend, so I didn't expect there to be too many people here today. But let's go ahead and pull a card. So I'm gonna look at a deck that I want to use. It's like, gosh, when you can't make up your mind about what deck to use. Do I want to use the food? No. Voyager Tarot? Do I? Okay. Or, okay, so I'm going to give you guys a choice then. Let me just pull all of these, all my decks, because like, whoo. New Age said that was a sweet meditation. I can replay that later too. Secret Path says still here. Okay, okay. So I'm just trying to figure out what deck I want to use. Okay. Okay, here you guys. Okay. I have 3 decks. You guys choose the deck, and then I'll pull you guys each a card. And oh, and have to pull one for Snoop Dub. I know that she couldn't be here, but she asked me to pull a card for her. So I have the Green Witch Tarot. I have the Voyager Tarot. And I have my own deck that I like created for like personal use, but it's my athlete's tarot, so like it's got full of athletes in it. So what do you guys want? So athlete's tarot, Voyager Tarot, or the Green Witch Tarot? Let me know and we will do it. I'm starting to get kind of hungry, so yeah, we'll pull a card, we'll do a healing, and then I'm gonna go eat. While you guys are thinking about that, I'm going to put some of these pictures back up on my altar. There we go. That there. This here. Okay. Gee, I'm feeling the witchy and green. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do Green Witch Tarot. So yeah, I'm feeling kind of the greeny too. Okay, so the first card I'm gonna pull is for Snoop Debbie Deb. And then if you guys want me to pull you a card, just say so. And then my homegirl New Age Lunatic will take your name down, and then yeah, I'll just a general message for everyone. So I'm just gonna pull each of you a card. So this one is for Snoop Debbie Deb first. Okay, so Debbie, I know you're gonna watch this on the replay, so now I'm talking to you in the future. Okay, so Debbie, something that Debbie needs to know. Something that Debbie needs to know. What does Debbie need to know? Debbie Savatsi. First, let's see what's going on in my mind too for Debbie. Ooh, Debbie, I see Anubis. Okay, so I got Anubis. Ooh, okay. That's too many cards, but yeah, okay, so I see Anubis, so we'll see how Anubis connects to the card that I pull. And we have the Two of Swords, so the Two of Athames. And so here it looks like these guys are, wow, looks like, well, with the scythe here, trying to, like, you know, figure out maybe whose land is whose land, or what we should cut. And here you have this bird flying overhead, so it's a lot of, you know, obviously mental energy. This guy is like, this is my stump, and this guy's like, no, this is my stump. So making a decision, and then I'm like trying to figure out how does that connect to Anubis, who is like a god of the dead. Okay, so here is what I get. Okay, so you know, when like in Egyptian mythology, you have Anubis, you have, you know, there's this thing that spirit or the pharaoh has to go through in order to enter the afterlife. And so you have the weighing of the heart, you know, against the feather of Mot's feather. You have Anubis and all of that. And so it's like, you know, I was getting like, you know, with the weighing of the heart, like decision making. So it feels like that there's some sort of decision that you're having to make. But I'm getting this like heavy heart where it's something that maybe you're not feeling good about. But I don't feel that this is something bad. So I don't feel like I feel like maybe even if you don't feel good about it, that it's nothing that's going to hurt anyone. You know, so it's something like you feel like you don't have a choice, you know, even though like you're kind of like backing out of it, like you feel like you have to follow through, even though you don't want to follow through. So yeah, so it's like this choice that's kind of being made for you. It's weighing heavily on your heart. You don't really feel good about it, but it's not, the choice isn't hurting anyone, and it actually works out for the best for everyone. So maybe you don't feel good about it right now, but it's going to work out for the best for everyone, everyone involved. So Debbie, when you watch this replay, that was for you. Okay, so who do we have? Who do we have next? Or if anybody wanted a reading, just pulling a card, then we're gonna do a little healing, and then I gotta go eat, y'all. I'm hungry. Okay, Secret Path is next. All right. Okay, Secret Path. Let's see what I see first before I pull the card. Okay. Okay, so first I was seeing like a fence getting painted, and then all of a sudden my brain went to Karate Kid. with I hear Mr. Miyagi, show me, paint the fence. So like, you know, with Daniel-san, he's like, you know, you got to paint the fence this way, and then this way, you know, there's a proper way. Like, you don't just paint the fence all willy-nilly, so it's like up and it's down. So yeah, I'm hearing this like, show me, paint the fence. Okay, so let's see what card we pull and how that actually goes to painting a fence Karate Kid style. Okay, Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so wow, and then it being a wooden ace, like wood, like a fence. So I'm seeing like, starting off on something new, but I'm getting like two messages. So when I see this fence, and then I see the wood here, and I see Ace of Pentacles, and, you know, I see Ace is like, you know, some like new thing that we're doing. and it's like a new project, you know, like painting the fence, like refresh, like there's a refresh going on. But the second message, you know, when I hear Mr. Miyagi show me paint the fence, um, you know how you probably have watched Karate Kid. Mr. Miyagi was having Daniel-san like paint the fence a certain way in order to teach him karate, you know, but Daniel didn't know that at the time. So he thought that he was just doing chores for Mr. Miyagi. But when it came time to show me what you got, you know, and he takes the tools out of his hands and he's like, show me paint the fence, then he realizes that he was learning karate moves. So I get with this Ace of Pentacles is that there's some kind of refresh going on, and the realization that things that you have been doing you didn't know were benefiting you for what's happening right now. Like you didn't see that there was a connection before when there's actually a connection being made. And if you don't know this right now, then this is happening really soon, where this new like just things seem to be like on a new refreshing start, like something is starting anew. And yes, everything that you've been doing, you know, that you thought wasn't connected to this thing that's happening was actually connected, and you've gained some sort of skill from that. That was one of my favorite films when I was a child. Oh my god, yeah, dude, who doesn't love the Karate Kid? Just like, I love Karate Kid. So yeah, so I see that it's just you've been learning a very special set of skills. I have a very particular set of skills. And those skills are now helping you with this new thing that's going on, this new refresh. So it's kind of like a, oh, that's why that had to happen, or oh, that's why things worked out the way they did, because then I know now how to do X, Y, and Z. And it's like the like epiphany. The ending was the best. Sweep the leg, sweep the leg, put him in a body bag. Oh my god. Oh, I need to go watch Karate Kid again. Yes. Oh, and that new that TV show that's on YouTube Red, we've been watching oh my gosh, my brain just went blank. Not the Cobras. My brain's mixed up with a book I just finished reading with my kids, where the bad guys were the Cobras. Basically, Johnny's like back now, and he's like older, and it's like kind of Karate Kid, but like from the bad guy's perspective, kind of. Yeah, and I love that show. I'm like totally in love with Cobra Kai. That's what it's called, Cobra Kai. So yes, I'm in love with Cobra Kai. Secret Passage, absolutely. I feel something is coming. I have been learning a lot, mostly spiritual things. Thank you. So yeah, so just know that even if you didn't think that whatever does show up, you wouldn't think that these two things are like connected. Like, you know, you said you're learning a lot of spiritual things, so it's maybe this thing that happens is like not like a spiritual thing, but because of what you've been learning, it's helping you with this thing that's coming. So yes, so that then is confirmation that something is coming. Okay, actually I'm just going to show you real quick, and maybe this means something to you, but when I put the card back, the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups was on the bottom. So just little extra for you. I'm just thinking that you needed to see that card too. Okay, who do we have next? And if you guys haven't seen Cobra Kai on YouTube Red, I'm waiting for the next season, because I just ate up Cobra Kai. I was just like, oh my god. I think it's like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Like, nobody hates that show. Like, it is so cool. And I maybe had a crush on Johnny, like with Karate Kid. Maybe I thought Johnny was cute, and maybe I think that older Johnny now, even though he's like much older now, I think he's still kind of handsome. New Age said, oh, okay, so you, and then that's it. Okay, so let me have the sip of the tea. And I'll tell you what I see first, and then I will pull you a card, my girl. Okay, so New Age, I was seeing ducks flying, and then all of a sudden I heard, you know, the singer Seal? I heard Seal start singing. Um, oh gosh, what are the lyrics to that song? Um, Something about unlock the door, something, don't go there anymore. In my head, I'm trying to get to a chorus or something so I can like sing it for you. I love Seal, by the way. You know where there's the part, it's like he's like, I'm waiting, waiting, yeah. Do 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 do, unlock the door and end it anymore. Do 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 do. Okay, I'm probably just like way off tune, but yeah, I haven't heard that song in a while, but yeah, just start looking up Seal songs. You'll probably find the one I'm talking about. So okay, ducks flying overhead. I'm hearing Seal. It's a pleasant song to have in my head. Whoa, did that card just flip around? What the heck just happened? Okay, we'll see if that card comes back again, because that card just like, I don't know what that card just did. That was pretty cool. Yep. Ah. Okay. So we have the Ace of Athames. Wow, a couple of aces so far. That's pretty cool. I need to go look up Seal after. I've not heard of him for ages. Yeah, you totally need to listen to it. It's got this like beat to it. It's like you know, and then he starts singing. It's like yeah, anyway. It's just I keep hearing that one part of the song, something unlock the door, because you don't go there anymore. So it's like I keep seeing like doors opening, and you know, and Seal singing, and you got the ducks flying overhead, which, you know, many cultures, ducks are lucky. And then the swords, that's definitely also air energy. So you have the ducks flying, Seal talking about you got to open up that door. So I'm seeing that they're just like that lead duck that's leading that formation. You know, they're in that V formation, like an arrow or a sword. That there is something that I think you've been a little hesitant to take, been hesitant to do, and this is the universe telling you right now that you gotta lead. You gotta be the one who makes this, does this thing, whatever this thing is, first, because people will follow you, and I think you're waiting for somebody else to do whatever this is first, or make the first move or whatever it is, before you do anything. And that waiting is, you're just going to wait indefinitely if you do that. So I'm seeing whatever is going on, that you're going to have to make some sort of action first. You're going to have to be the first one, even though that like might be really scary for you. But you need to be the first. You need to be the leader. You need to be that first duck that leads the V formation. And you got to be like Seal talking about open up that door. You got to be the one that opens the door. You got to be the one that does it. So which says that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, I don't really know what this is pertaining to, but I just see that you need to be the first for something. There's something that you need to do, that maybe you've been putting off or waiting to see like if somebody else does it and like how that worked out for them. So just something that you are a little hesitant about. You've been kind of waiting in the wings, kind of watching how things go, but go duck on. Go be ducky. Yes, go be a duck. And also something to remember about ducks is that the water rolls right off their back. So whatever happens, you gotta let stuff just roll right off your back. Well, I guess other things that ducks do is they don't chew their food. They just like swallow their food. Kind of like how my boyfriend eats. Like he eats like a duck. He's like, okay. But ignore the eating like a duck thing. Probably more focus on the waters rolling off the back of a duck and leading the formation, because that sounds a lot better than eating like a duck. So, so yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and do our healing, and I thank everybody who's been here. And I know this is a busy weekend, and maybe my dude and I will go down and go see some Dia de los Muertos happenings in Old Town this weekend, since it's happening all weekend. And here we go. So if you would like to receive some healing energy, or just, you know, some good vibes, some good juju, you're very welcome, New Age. You know, Melody said, I would love a card. Nicolina, will my style evolve till the end of this year, and how much? It's Guy Fawkes weekend here. Guy Fawkes weekend? I do not know of this. Okay. Melody and Nicolina, well, we just kind of finished up our one card readings, and then I'm getting ready to do our energy healing. So if you want to be part of the energy healing, then you just either have to verbally state it, or you have to just say it in your mind. I'm open to the healing, and you can receive some of that good juju. If you want to catch like a really in-depth personal reading with me, you can go to my website, www.kittensweightsandtarot.com, and you can catch a reading there. But you don't have to stay here so I know Melody has to run, so you don't have to stay here for the healing. You just go about your day. You go do whatever you have to do. If you're driving, if you got to go do the dishes, you got to go run some errands. Illuminated 719, it says lovely. Then you go do that. You guys don't have to stay here on the live chat. So go about your business. Just all you have to state is like, hey, I'm open to some healing energy. The dude tried to blow up Parliament, so we have fireworks on the 5th of November, or just before. It's close to the weekend. Oh, okay. All right. Rock on. Party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth. So, oh, okay. Guy Fawkes. Oh, okay. Alrighty then. I'm gonna have to go look that up. That's interesting. If you want the healing energy to go to somebody that you know, an animal, a place, person, you can also put that in the comments. Not really for me to see, but just, I always believe in like writing things out or typing things out, like puts the energy out there. And so let's do this. So you can stay, you can leave, you can lay down, you can go about your business, up to you. And all I hope is that you guys receive some, it feels like a warm hug. That's what I'm hoping. Okay. All right, you guys, so hopefully you felt a nice warm hug. I was trying to send hugs all around. Just one big happy hug to everyone. Hopefully you got the good juju. Ooh, we are at 120. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, so I wish you guys a wonderful weekend. I hope everybody had a happy Samhain, happy Halloween, happy Dia de los Muertos, All Saints, All Souls Day, whatever you guys are celebrating, Guy Fawkes Day, and so you have a great Saturday with the dude, and thanks for the fuzzies. You're welcome, and hugs back to you too, Keith. Yeah. And you guys have a great weekend. I thank you guys for hanging out with me as always. And as always, I keep you guys on the up and up and on my journey here. Illuminated. Bye bye. And yes, happy Saturday to everyone. So kisses, hugs, peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye guys. Have a